Hey, if you're sitting on the sideline right now waiting for mortgage rates to come down even more before you buy a home, I need you to hear something that might sting just a little. That strategy could be quietly costing you tens of thousands of dollars, and most people don't realize it until it's too late. I'm going to walk you through the actual math today, a real side-by-side comparison of buying now versus waiting 12 months. And there's a piece of this equation that almost nobody talks about that completely changes the picture. And I'll get to that toward the end, but first, a quick note. If you're seriously trying to figure out whether now is the right time for you, there's a link in the description below where you can actually schedule a free mortgage strategy call with me. No pressure, no sales pitch, just clarity on your numbers. Most lenders give you a rate, I give you a strategy. I'm Matt Robertshaw, 23 years in the mortgage business, and today I'm going to show you exactly why waiting is actually costing you. I talk to people every single week who tell me the same thing. I'm going to wait until rates drop and then I'll buy. And honestly, I get it. That sounds logical on the surface. You're thinking, if I can get a lower rate, my monthly payment goes down and I save money. It makes perfect sense, right? Except here's what that thinking misses entirely. While you're waiting for the rate to come down, and by the way, nobody knows if or when that actually happens, the price of the home you want is not just sitting there waiting for you too. I had a client about 8 months ago. Really sharp guy, good income, solid savings, and he told me in early 2025 he was going to wait 6 months for rates to improve. 6 months went by. Rates barely moved, but the home he'd been watching, it sold, and the comparable homes in that same neighborhood were now listed higher. He ended up buying a similar house, paid more for it, and his rate was basically the same. He looked at me across the table and said, "Hey, I should have done this 6 months ago." And that story plays out constantly. So let me give you the actual framework that actually matters here. Most economists are projecting somewhere between 1 and 4% home appreciation nationally over the next year. Most housing economists are forecasting a modest 1 to 2% increase in home prices. NAR, National Association of Realtors, expects a median 4% home price gain in 2026. Now, here in Texas, the picture is a little more nuanced. Prices are expected to stabilize fully by mid-2026, ending the year with a modest appreciation somewhere between 1 and 2%. But here's the thing. Even if prices only go up a couple percent on a home in that $300,000 range, that's thousands of dollars added to your purchase price in just 12 months. And here's what really gets people. Even in the best case scenario, rates tick down modestly. Waiting to buy could cost more overall, even if mortgage rates drop slightly. You might save a little on your monthly payment, sure, but you're paying a higher price for the home itself, which means a bigger loan, more interest over 30 years, and a bigger down payment. The monthly savings and the total cost are two completely different conversations, and most people only look at one of them. Let me ask you something. If you're renting right now while you wait, what's that actually costing you? And I don't just mean the rent check. One of the most significant costs of waiting to buy a home is the lost opportunity to build equity. Home ownership is not just about having the place to live, it's also a long-term investment. Each mortgage payment you make contributes to building equity, essentially a form of forced savings. And the longer you wait, the longer you delay this wealth building process. Think about that for a second. Every single month you write a rent check. 100% of that money goes to your landlord's investment, not yours. If you are making a mortgage payment instead, a portion of that is coming right back to you in the form of equity. Over 12 months of renting, that's potentially thousands of dollars in wealth you just didn't build. And rents in Texas are not cheap right now. Single-family rents are running about $2,200 to $2,300 a month statewide. That's over $26,000 a year going into someone else's mortgage. Okay, what I'm about to explain is the part that changes everything. If you've been following along, this is where it all clicks. There's a concept I explain to nearly every buyer I work with, and it flips the entire rate conversation on its head. Are you ready? You can refinance a rate. You can't refinance a purchase price. So let me say that again because it's very important. If you buy a home today and rates come down a year from now or 2 years from now, you can refinance into that lower rate. You get the best of both worlds. You already locked in today's price. You've been building equity the entire time, and now you also get the lower payment. But if you wait, you're buying at whatever the new price is, and you missed all those months of equity building, and you spent all that rent money with nothing to show for it. Refinancing allows you to take advantage of lower rates and reduce your monthly mortgage payments. I had a couple I worked with. Actually, let me back up. This was late 2023. They were terrified of the rate environment. Everyone was telling them to wait. They almost did, but we sat down, we ran the numbers, and they decided to move forward. They bought their home, and guess what happened about a year later when rates dipped? We refinanced them. They kept a lower price, they locked in, they had already built enough equity through appreciation in their monthly payments, and their new payment was lower than if they would have waited and bought at the same higher price with that same rate everyone was hoping for. That is the strategy that works. Buy the house, date the rate, marry the price. You've probably heard the phrase. And honestly, it's one of the few catchy sayings in the industry that's actually true. Now, let me be real with you for a second. I'm not saying everyone should rush out and buy a home tomorrow. If your credit needs work, if you haven't saved anything, if your job situation's unstable, waiting absolutely makes sense. Buying a home should always be a personal decision based on your finances, lifestyle, and comfort level. But once you're prepared, your income, savings, and credit are in a good place. Waiting rarely benefits you financially. The people I'm talking to right now are the ones who are ready. You've got the income, you've got some savings. You're just frozen because you're trying to time something that even the top economists in the country can't predict. Predicting the perfect time to buy a home is like trying to predict the weather months in advance. It's nearly impossible. And here's the historical truth that should really settle this for you. Many buyers assume that falling mortgage rates will automatically lead to lower home prices. And historically, that relationship often works in reverse. Lower rates tend to increase affordability, which brings more buyers into the market. And when demand increases, especially in markets with limited housing supplies, prices typically go higher, not lower. And so that very thing that you're waiting for, lower rates, could actually make things harder for you because suddenly there are more buyers competing for the same exact homes. And I've been in this business a long time, and I'm going to have to see that there's a pattern that repeats itself over and over. The best time to buy is when you're financially ready and you find a home that works for your life, period. The math supports it, the history supports it, and the strategy of buying now and refinancing later gives you every advantage. If you're trying to decide whether right now is the right time to buy, I'd love to help you run the actual numbers for your situation. There's a link below to schedule a free mortgage strategy call. No pressure, just clarity. I'll personally look into your income, your savings, your goals, and show you exactly what buying today versus waiting actually looks like with your real numbers, not hypotheticals. Your numbers. That link is right below this video. And if this helped you see your situation a little differently, do two things for me. Go schedule that call using the link in the description and hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. I've got more videos like this coming that are going to save you real money and real stress on your home buying journey. I'll see you on the next one.